community can help us live longer, healthier lives.
Longer lives.
Yeah, and there are studies, scientific studies that back this up.
Okay.
People with strong relationships tend to live longer, which makes sense, right?
It does.
But then she drops this statistic. Good relationships can increase our chances of survival by like 50%.
50%. That's huge.
It's pretty amazing.
It's not just about living longer, though.
No, it's about living better, too.
Okay, so today we are diving into an article by holistic life coach Violet Spring, and it's called The Healing Power of Community, Building Connections for Holistic Living.
Okay.
I think this is something that a lot of us can relate to, especially these days.
Yeah.
The need for connection and how important that really is.
Right.
And Violet really gets into how community is crucial for our well-being.
Yeah, and right off the bat, the article kind of changes how we think about community.
Yeah.
It's not just our neighbors, it's so much more than that.
It's way broader.
Yeah.
It's like any group where you feel like you belong.
Exactly.
Whether it's in person or online, that sense of belonging is the heart of it.
It is. It's that shared something, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's where we live, our interests, values.
Yeah, the things that we have in common.
Or our culture, even our spiritual beliefs.
And it's so interesting because, we often think of community as just our physical location.
Right, yeah.
But she's saying it can be so much more than that.
Like feeling seen, heard, understood.
Yeah, that's huge. Feeling valued by others.
It's kind of like the foundation of what makes a community, in this holistic sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And that's where we find support for, so many things, social, emotional, even spiritual needs.
Right, and she ties it all together with our physical and mental health.
It's all connected, right? You can't really separate them.
No, you can't.
And Violet emphasizes this idea that community, it really fosters this wholeness, this balance, which is at the core of, a whole thick life.
And I also like how she brings in these different, perspectives on community.
Oh, yeah.
So, she mentions the sociological viewpoint, which is all about, shared social interactions, the expectations that come with being part of a group.
Right, and those expectations shape our identity, too.
Exactly.
Our collective identity.
And then she also talks about community psychology, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah, that's really interesting because it's not just about, individuals existing in a community.
It's more dynamic.
Yeah, it's that back and forth, how individuals and the community actually shape each other.
They influence each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we have that understanding of what community is, she dives into how it actually impacts our health.
Right, and it's more than just it's nice to have friends. It's so much deeper.
It's deeper than that.
It's like this foundation of resources that makes us more resilient physically and mentally.
Yeah, and she makes the point that it can actually protect us from different health problems.
Yeah, it's a protective factor, kind of like a buffer against illness.
Wow.
And the feeling of belonging and support, that actually impacts our bodies, on a physiological level.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is.
And she's not saying that it's just nice to have.
No.
She's saying it's a cornerstone of holistic health.
It's essential.
It influences, she lists longevity, how well our bodies fight off illness.
And even our emotional stability.
And she even makes this really striking comparison.
Yeah, this is the part that really got me.
She says that a lack of social connection can be as harmful as smoking.
A pack a day.
Wow, that's powerful.
It puts it into perspective.
It really does.
And that makes you realize how important these connections are.
Absolutely.
And we really need to nurture them.
So let's dive into the specific benefits that she talks about. How does this connection actually play out in our lives?
So first off, community can help us live longer, healthier lives.
Longer lives.
Yeah, and there are studies, scientific studies that back this up.
Okay.
People with strong relationships tend to live longer, which makes sense, right?
It does.
But then she drops this statistic. Good relationships can increase our chances of survival by 50%.
50%. That's huge.
It's pretty amazing.
It's not just about living longer, though.
No, it's about living better, too.
She also talks about how connection is key for heart health.
Yes. So feeling lonely, isolated, that can actually increase your risk of heart problems.
Oh, wow.
Like heart attacks, strokes, things like that.
So the opposite is true, too.
Exactly. When we have strong social ties, it can lower our blood pressure.
Okay.
And it reduces stress, which is, so bad for our hearts.
Yeah, stress is a killer.
It really is.
And then, of course, there's mental well-being, which I think is so important.
Yes, and, Violet describes community as this, powerful tool for mental health.
Okay.
Feeling connected. It helps us manage stress, anxiety, even depression.
That's really important these days, especially.
It is, and she emphasizes how important it is to have people you can lean on when things get tough.
Right, like a support system.
Exactly, and that sense of belonging, having a purpose within a community, that can really lift you up.
And it's not just mental and emotional. She even talks about how it affects our immune system.
Yeah, the connection she makes between our social interactions and our immune response is really fascinating.
It is. I never thought about it that way.
So, research suggests that people with strong social connections have stronger immune systems.
Okay.
They can fight off illness better.
So the flip side is that if you're lonely...
Yeah, if you're isolated, you're more prone to inflammation and, your immune system takes a hit.
Wow. So it really is like protecting us.
It is. It's like this invisible shield.
Hey everyone! Before we dive deeper into today's topic, I want to take a quick moment to tell you about my book, The Essential Guide to Supplements. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the world of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and more, this book is here to help. It's packed with easy-to-understand information to help you make informed decisions about supplements for your health needs. Whether you're looking to boost your energy, support your immune system, or just feel your best, this guide breaks it all down in a way that's practical and actionable. You'll learn what each supplement does, how to take it, and even how to combine supplements for the best results. Plus, it covers important safety tips, like potential side effects and interactions, so you can feel confident about what you're putting into your body. If you're ready to take control of your health and make smarter choices about supplements, The Essential Guide to Supplements is available now on Amazon. I've included the link in the description below. Check it out and start your journey to better health today.
So, okay, we know it's important, but how do we actually build these connections?
That's the big question, right?
And Violet offers some really practical advice in her article.
She does, and the good news is you don't need to make these huge changes.
You can start small.
Yeah, little steps can make a big difference.
Okay.
And she suggests starting with the people and places around you.
Just like in our daily lives.
Yeah, just become more aware of who's around you and engage with them.
And she breaks it down into a few categories.
Right, starting with our neighbors, people in our town or city.
And she gives examples like welcoming new people to the neighborhood.
Yeah, just a simple hello can make someone feel so welcome.
And supporting local businesses.
Yeah, get to know the owners, the staff. It creates that sense of community.
And even just spending time outside.
Yeah, parks, your front porch, just being present in your community.
Then she talks about connecting through shared interests.
Which makes sense, right? You have something in common to talk about, to bond over.
Yeah, so things like book clubs, hiking groups.
Or even online forums about gardening, whatever you're passionate about.
Right, and then there's the idea of shared values.
So things like religious organizations, volunteering for causes you believe in.
Yeah, any group where you feel like your values align.
And of course, we can't forget about online communities.
Right, those are so prevalent these days.
Yeah, and she acknowledges that they can be really meaningful.
They can be, yeah.
Especially groups that focus on hobbies or offer support.
And then she kind of translates those categories into specific actions we can take.
Right, she gives us a roadmap.
So welcoming new neighbors, supporting local businesses, spending time outdoors.
Joining those local groups, volunteering our time.
And attending local events like festivals, markets.
Those are great places to meet people.
And even just helping out a neighbor,
Small acts of kindness can go a long way.
And for the online world, she recommends joining relevant groups.
But also being mindful of our technology use.
Right, like not letting it take over our lives.
And actually using it to facilitate real-life connections.
Yeah, like using a group to organize a meetup.
Exactly.
Now, she also acknowledges that building community isn't always easy.
It's not. There are definitely challenges.
And she talks about those in her Overcoming Hurdles section.
Right. She gives us some real talk about the things that might hold us back.
And one of the biggest ones she mentions is lack of time.
We're all so busy these days.
It's like, how do you fit it all in?
But she suggests looking for small opportunities within your routine.
Okay, so little moments throughout the day.
Yeah, like chatting with the barista, inviting a friend to join you for a walk.
And she also talks about social anxiety, which I think a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be scary to put yourself out there.
It can, but she encourages us to start small, maybe connect with one or two people.
Okay.
Find a group with a shared interest, something that makes you feel comfortable.
Or even start with online groups.
Yeah, that can be a good way to dip your toes in the water.
And she reminds us that, everyone feels nervous sometimes.
It's totally normal.
It's okay to feel that way.
Yeah, don't let it stop you.
And another challenge that she talks about is that feeling of not fitting in.
Yeah, that could be tough.
Like you try different groups and you just don't feel like you click with anyone.
Right. But she says to keep trying,
Don't give up.
There's a group out there for everyone.
And to be authentic,
Be yourself. That's how you attract genuine connections.
Exactly.
And then there's the issue of trust.
Yeah. Trust is so important for any relationship.
It is, and it takes time to build.
It does.
It's not something that happens overnight.
So how do we cultivate that trust within a community?
She talks about being reliable, being open in your interactions.
Showing genuine interest in others.
Yeah, those are the building blocks of trust.
Now, one of the things that I found really interesting was how she explores the spiritual side of community.
Yeah, that adds a whole other dimension to it.
It does. It's not just about the social aspect.
Right. For a lot of people, community has this deep spiritual meaning.
Okay.
It's rooted in shared beliefs, values, practices.
And that can be such a powerful source of support.
It can. It gives you a framework for understanding life, navigating its challenges.
And she mentions things like religious organizations, meditation groups.
Yeah, even just a shared commitment to values like compassion and kindness.
And that can create this feeling of belonging to something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, that sense of purpose can be really grounding and uplifting.
And it can offer solace during tough times, too. And she talks about how this spiritual connection often manifests in, practical ways.
Yeah, like belonging to groups, having deep conversations about these shared beliefs.
Sharing meals together.
Or engaging in activities that reflect those values.
Oh, it's really interesting to see how all these pieces fit together.
It is. It's like a tapestry,
And Violet's article really emphasizes how community is at the heart of holistic living.
It is. It nourishes our minds, strengthens our bodies, lifts our spirits.
And we've seen how it impacts our longevity, our heart health, our mental well-being.
Even our immune system.
And it's not just about these big, abstract concepts.
No.
She really brings it back to our everyday lives.
Yeah, engaging with our local community.
Volunteering, joining clubs, connecting with our neighbors.
These are all things we can do right now to make a difference.
And even in our digital world, using technology to strengthen those real-world bonds.
Yeah, that's key.
And while there might be challenges, she gives us hope that we can overcome them.
With a little effort and understanding, we can build these resilient, supportive networks.
And for many, that spiritual dimension adds a layer of depth and meaning that's really irreplaceable.
It's true.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Violet Spring's article, it's clear that nurturing our community ties is not just a nice to have.
It's essential.
It's truly fundamental to our well-being.
It's an investment in ourselves and in the world around us.
So, what can our listeners do today to strengthen their connections or find new ones?
That's a great question.
Think about your interests, your values.
Where do you feel that pull towards connection?
What small step can you take today to build a sense of belonging in your life?
And remember, you don't have to do it all at once.
Just one small step at a time.
That's how we build something meaningful.
That's how we build community.
That's how we heal.
And that's how we thrive.
Together.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, leave a comment below, and be sure to subscribe and help us build this awesome holistic heroes tribe. And while you're waiting for new episodes, check out my other videos from these playlists.